Oilers, you got a great offense with Connor McDavid. So I have them sweeping them.
Yeah, well, I don't think you heard my point. The San Francisco Giants have 3 more in the 2010s than the Rangers have in their entire history. So, yeah.
It's hard to get back and to get back-to-back wins. And I don't see the Lightning doing it here, so I have them losing to the Hurricanes in 6.
We don't talk about the 2010s because the 2010s had the Astros. And if the Astros didn't happen, the Yankees would have won in 2017.
He was close to Frank Reich, and they want Frank Reich back, so that's what they got. It's their discount Frank Reich.
Kaprizov and the rest of this crew, Jordan Greenway, who doesn't get enough props. He definitely is somebody who needs to be mentioned more.
Hi, this is Julie Dobbs. You're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week. And Austin, the season is almost here, so that means it's our annual year of World Series or Bust as we analyze and discuss teams that this year, if they do not make it to a World Series and with the expectation of winning it, or at least competing for it, it is a terrible year for them. Some teams you could argue it'd be great if you went to the World Series, but that's not the expectation. These 4 teams have that expectation.
Yeah, let's get away with the easiest one. I know they've won back-to-back, but the Dodgers will be here as long as they continue to spend. Ohtani's getting paid only $2 million right now, but technically it's $70 million a year after you extrapolate it and average it out. But yeah, this Dodgers team is extremely prepared to win again. Freddie, Mookie, now they have Kyle Tucker. They just keep adding guys. And there's another team on this list who will probably do last that their starting pitcher may go there if they don't pay him. So there's a lot of guys who are very happy to take a increased salary and go to LA, but they're the villains of the league at the moment.
Yeah, they're the villains, and usually this is the time where if you win even back-to-back champions, you would be off this list because just winning one is enough. But that it is not enough for the LA Dodgers, and it is something to where that if you're going to spend that money on top-tier players, it's not like they're just signing veteran guys. This is the premier talent for the MLB, and they just keep adding them. So the expectation is that you compete for another World Series. I'll let you go into the other team.
Well, I just really quickly, I want to say, if you guys followed our top 10 for each position, the Dodgers had one in almost every list. So if you guys didn't watch those, please check in. But yeah, they're talented at every position. Yeah, I'll go into the team I was referencing before, and that's the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers may be a little bit confusing. They almost made the ALCS this past year. They've had success in previous years. A little bit disappointing. Last year they dominated the Central and then eventually lost it towards the end to the Guardians and then beat the Guardians in the playoffs. But I do think the Tigers are World Series or bust because of the Skubal contract. He's not signed past this year. His arbitration time has ended, and he could go anywhere after this year. So I think if you're not going to pay Skubal as much as the Dodgers, you have to prove that you can contend. They've added really good guys like Framber Valdez. They've added a couple other guys. Justin Verlander's back. He went to a World Series when they were with them. They lost to the Giants, but I think this is a good year for Detroit, and I definitely think they deserve to be on this list.
Yeah, Detroit, it was something where I was a little bit reserved to put them on this list, but the argument is true of what happens to Skubal next year, and as long as he's not signed, the idea is for them to compete, and that's where I'm okay having him on this list because we don't know what Skubal's future is, and this is going to be the best team they are right now for a while because Skubal does a lot for them. Hitting is okay, but they're a pitching team, and a lot of that is because of Skubal.
Yeah, and like we talked before we recorded, it doesn't reset the window. It resets the timeline, like you said, of the entire organization. And that's why it's a World Series or bust, because if you have to reset after getting multiple playoff appearances, almost making an LCS, it'll feel like... I feel like the Tigers, if they won the World Series and then lost Skubal, the fans wouldn't hate the management. They would not be pleased. They would be angry, but it wouldn't be vitriol hate. If they made it to the ALCS and lost, and then they lost Skubal, I mean, it's just the worst season of all time because they didn't get to actually take advantage of the great player, generational player that they had.
Yeah, and that's something we'll have to see how they do that. I hope he signs. I'm still in the belief of that. But I think another team that they could focus on is the Philadelphia Phillies because they keep spending money on guys that they have tried. They keep trying to keep that team together. And that is where I think that's what puts them on this list because they haven't been able to reach that mountain of at least getting back to the World Series when they lost to the Houston Astros. So that's why I feel like they should be on this list.
Yeah, that was 2022, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 22. The Astros
Sounds right.
just
Yep.
lost the year before, yeah, to the Braves. So, yeah, it's been a minute since they've been there, and I think a lot of fans that are not even just Phillies fans would enjoy seeing Bryce Harper hoist the trophy. So, it's a big year for the Phillies. They're getting older, they're not getting younger, and that's always scary for an organization when you have yet to reach the mountaintop.
You make a great point with Bryce Harper. He's someone that with the Nationals, right after he left. They won a World Series. So that is something to where he's really become with the Philadelphia Phillies. So that is something we'll have to see. And Kyle Schwarber as well. They've invested a lot of money into guys, and they just keep trying to get that starting pitching, but they're trying to win. So I believe we've gone through three. I'll let you introduce the final team.
Yeah, it's my team. We did not have the Yankees on the list the year before. We did have them on the year before that, though. When they got Soto, we did put them on the list. But last year, because of the Garrett Cole injury, we knew he was not going to play all season. There was no point to put him on the list because without your ace, I don't think you can really win a World Series and contend with the Dodgers. But this year, they're there. They're ready to compete with Garrett Cole, hopefully healthy. Cam Slittler, he's been playing very well towards the end of the season and is expecting to be good. Yes, Carlos Rodon's hurt to begin the year, but by the time everybody's healthy, the 5-man rotation looks insane. And you pair that with one of the best power hitters in the game in Giancarlo Stanton, and I would argue the best hitter in the sport, Aaron Judge. There's also Cody Bellinger, Trent Grisham, a lot of players that have played well last year. They're hoping to get some rebound performances from guys like Ryan McMahon and Volpe and some other guys. But this is a big year for them, and until Judge captures it, his trophy case will be missing one thing.
Yeah, that's something you talk about Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees. And he kind of got a rap for not doing well, not living up to what he set in the regular season. And that's something to where it is always going to have it till he gets that World Series ring. And then you could argue World Series MVP, which is how he is a huge part of that New York Yankees team. Another part is Garrett Cole. The Yankees have spent a lot on pitching, starting pitching specifically. So they're always in the mix with it. And I do feel last year was a little bit too early and kind of living to just the Yankees having high expectations. But given what they've done and the injuries, guys coming back like Cole, to me, that makes the argument of why they should be on this list and have those high expectations because Judge demonstrated a high ability last year as a hitter in the postseason for the New York Yankees.
Yeah, they're going to need that again. His track record in the postseason hasn't been great, but if they can get Stanton and him both playing at their top level, it's going to be a hard team to beat.
Yeah, and it's going to make for a fun season if all these teams makes the playoffs and a lot of discussions to if these teams don't make it. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.